Welcome back. My name is Thomas O'Neill. I was a competitive gymnast for 12 years and then transferred into lifting and eventually, hopefully, bodybuilding, where I've put on a significant amount of muscle, around 65 pounds of quality tissue in the past 4 years. And here are the 9 things that I would do differently if I were to start all the way over from zero to ensure that I was gaining muscle as fast as possible and as healthy as possible, I guess you could say. This is episode number 2 of my series called You're Small and Here's Why, where I explain why you're small, or really just why you might not be growing as well as you possibly can, and how you can fix that. So these are the 9 things that I would do differently. Number 1 is I would learn anatomy. And the reason learning anatomy is, and not only just learning anatomy as in what muscles are in your body, where they are, where they originate, where they insert, but also learning the way that your fibers run will help significantly with exercise selection, because each muscle has fibers that run in different directions that determine what the function of the muscle is, right? So the function of your chest is mainly horizontal adduction, bringing your arm from here outwards into the middle of your body. So in order to have a proper chest contraction, by shortening the muscle fibers, which is what you want to do to ensure like enough mechanical tension, enough stimulus to grow, you're going to want to include a movement that has some sort of horizontal adduction, whether that be a pressing, whether that be a fly. It really helps to know that you are not choosing exercises that other muscles are going to be taking over and taking all the stimulus away from what muscle you're trying to target. Number 2 is personalizing your exercise selection. So I've talked about this in the TikTok video before, but the hypertrophy space is like so focused on one thing, one movement that's perfect for hypertrophy, right? Well, everyone is different. Our limbs are different lengths, which causes different amounts of tension for different people. All exercises are not going to feel the same for different people, right? We're all individuals. So someone might feel a fly more than they feel like a pressing movement. Someone might feel a cable horizontal row more than they feel a machine horizontal row. It's just completely dependent on the person, right? There is no one thing, one exercise of a specific muscle that's going to make you grow more than one that you feel the best. So just choosing one that you feel the best and feel the best connection with is going to help you in the long run, because if you're not feeling the muscle, you're not recruiting enough motor units. Motor unit recruitment, and recruiting more motor units is the thing that gives you enough tension for the muscle to grow. So having a good connection with your muscle is super, super important, and that only comes with personalizing the exercise selection to what you feel the best. Number 3 is to film and assess your form. So this is another thing that I never wanted to do in the beginning of my career for some reason. Well, I know the reason is because, well, I was scared of how I looked on camera without like good angles and good lighting and everything. But I have a very, very bad problem with my scapula. My scapula wings out, it has horrible instability, and that leads me now to having 2 different sized shoulders, 2 different sized biceps, 2 different sized triceps, and 2 different sized pecs and lats. My entire upper body is imbalanced, okay? And that is because this scapula has been moving wrong on any chest movement. My traps would take over. On any back movement, I wouldn't be able to get a good feel with my with my lats, because I couldn't retract and squeeze my shoulders down effectively. And same thing with triceps. When I was doing a tricep push down, my right trap would come up all the way like this. You need to look at how you're doing the movement to ensure that you are hitting the muscle correctly. Obviously, you might take a video and see, wow, I'm really not getting enough range of motion on this movement. Adding that little bit of more range of motion can help you to get a better connection with the muscle. So please, and this is something that I have my clients do, in the first 2 weeks, I have them record all their top sets for every single body part, just so I can assess the form and make sure that they are getting the right tempo, getting enough time under tension, and actually hitting the muscle correctly. And to see, obviously, if they have any problems like I do with like instability, or if any other muscles are taking over. Number 4 is to use progressive overload. What is progressive overload? So again, I've already talked about this in a different TikTok video. Progressive overload is basically just increasing weight or increasing reps, increasing sets on a certain exercise to ensure that your strength is going up and that you are constantly adding more intensity to put your muscle under new stress. You can do this a few different ways. The way I like to do it is take any rep range that you feel comfortable doing a movement at with proper form. So this could be like 6 to 8, this could be 12 to 15, whatever, 10 to 12. You want to start on the lower end, so pick a weight that you can do. Say if you're doing 10 to 12 reps, pick a weight that you can do and go to failure at 10 reps. Okay. Over the next few weeks, keep going to failure until you eventually are able to do 12 reps to failure on every single set. So you're at the higher end of the rep range now. Then you're gonna up the weight to the next increment. It could be, if it's on a machine, just drop the pin one until you are doing the lower end of the rep range again, all the way to failure. Once you keep doing that, strength and muscle growth are very well correlated. So that means as you're growing in strength, you're also probably gonna be growing in muscle. Number 5 is try everything. So every exercise you can possibly think of, just to, obviously this ties back into number 2, personalizing your exercise selection. Trying everything, trying every dumbbell substitute for a cable movement, trying every cable movement substitute for a machine movement, just to see which exercises you feel the best. It's something, again, that I really did not do in my earlier years of my career, because I was obviously convinced that you need to take the stability out from the dumbbell movement. So I did 0 free weights or dumbbell movements. Now I have some stabilizer issues for my scapula that I'm dealing with now. So slowly starting to creep back up on the dumbbell and barbell, ladder. And same thing with not including a certain tension profile or certain movement, as in like not including dumbbells, machines, or cables into your workout routine. Just, you're not able to push the same intensity, right? If you do, say, a set of heavy barbell squats, your central nervous system is going to be fried. You need to learn that intensity in order to go to your max on every other movement. It just teaches you how to properly go to failure, which ties into number 8, which is training close and to failure. Number 6 is managing your volume. You want to make sure that you're not doing too much volume so that you can't recover the muscle for the next session, but you want to make sure you're not doing too little volume so that you're not getting enough stimulus to grow. It's recommended to do around 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week, but again, completely person dependent. One person can handle a lot more volume than the other, vice versa. Just depends on a lot of different factors. What's important is that you find what works best for you, what you can recover with, or what you can recover from for the next session while still getting adequate stimulus. Number 7 is hitting your muscles at least 2 times per week. Since your muscles normally take around like upwards of 72 hours to recover, you want to make sure that when they're recovered, you're taking advantage of it and pushing the stimulus right then and there. And you can normally fit that twice in 1 week. So it gives you, 1, enough rest time to rest the muscle and recover it, but 2, it gives you more stimulus than just training it 1 time a week. So since the stimulus is not coming from when your muscle is tired or not able to take in that new stimulus, you're obviously going to be growing at a faster rate than just training with like a bro split like 1 time per week. Number 8, training close or to failure. The hardest reps and the last reps of the set are the ones where you get the most mechanical tension, and this is why you need to be training to or close to failure in order to grow effectively. And number 9, the last thing, is to manage your volume based on your muscle size. So bigger muscles can handle a lot more volume than smaller muscles. If I'm doing my back, it has, individually, I'll use my legs for an example. It's a little bit easier to count. Your quad itself has 4 muscles in it. Plus you have your adductors, you have your abductors, you have 2 parts of your glute, you have 2 parts of your hamstring, you have 2 parts of your calf, plus the tibialis, which is the 3rd part. That's a lot more muscles than, say, like the 2 parts of your bicep. So are you going to do 20 sets on your legs and then 20 sets on your biceps too? No. It's a smaller muscle, just based on the sheer size, the sheer amount of more muscle fiber content that your legs have, and the more muscles that they have, they're able to handle a lot more volume. Therefore, you want to be on the upper end of what they can recover from, while still, again, managing the volume, not being too high so that they can't recover. So again, trial and error. You might be able to recover from 6 sets on your biceps for the next workout, and you might be able to recover from 20 sets in your legs for the next workout. All just depends on you, but you want to be pushing your muscles as hard as they can possibly go without accruing too much fatigue. And don't forget to follow if this information was helpful to you, or if you just want to support your boy. I'm pretty chill. You should do it. Thank you guys.